Dan Bernstein Unfiltered. Unfiltered on 312 Sports.
It is Pro Bowl announcement day across the NFL, and here on Dan Bernstein Unfiltered on 312 Sports, we congratulate these three Bears. Joe Thuney, the best player on the Chicago Bears, is properly rewarded with his fourth Pro Bowl selection in his career. The Bears left guard having a stalwart year, as is veteran safety Kevin Byard, who has been named to his third Pro Bowl, and it is the first such honor for Bears starting center Drew Dalman. So this is a pretty nice set of feathers to be placed in the cap of one Ryan Poles.
It is, but it's missing.
The name that is missing, that may be surprising, is that of Nishan Wright.
Yeah.
Who seemed to put together a year special enough, forced into action due to injury, was an end-of-roster pickup who outperformed every expectation, with the exception, perhaps, of defensive backs coach Al Harris, who had been touting this guy for a while and picked him off the back end of the Vikings roster. And maybe he indeed will find his way onto the Pro Bowl roster, because this is just the first pass. This is the one that actually counts.
Yeah, it's the one that matters. It's the one that he should be involved in. He's leading the NFL in takeaways.
And then we will have the various players decline participation, although it's probably less now because they don't actually play a game. So maybe they've done away with that by saying, look, you don't have to put your body in danger. You don't have to do something that hurts. Is an honor. Congratulations.
Right.
We're honoring you by making you do something that hurts.
Here's a broken leg.
Right. No, thank you.
He is leading the NFL in takeaways, correct?
I think when you combine the interceptions and the forced fumbles.
Yeah, I think he's number one in the league, which is bizarre to not be included in the first pass.
And I have a feeling he'll find his way to some honors. And look, was it Jalen Johnson who made second team All-Pro without making a Pro Bowl?
That sounds right.
I want to say that's
that sounds
true,
correct.
and that has happened, and that's because there's other components to the way the voting works. But we have three Chicago Bears, and that's probably right for one of the good teams in the league having a really good year to have three Pro Bowlers. Pro Bowler. Harlan Hill, Side Circuit. Congratulations to these guys. But, yeah, not surprised here. Joe Thuney, acquired by the Bears to do exactly what he's doing at the level that he's doing it, and it helped set an example. And we said if Drew Dalman was asked to run a primarily outside zone scheme, he could be the ideal center for it. Unfortunately, coming off his worst game as a Bear. But great work. Three guys, Byard, Thuney, and Dalman, all make it to the Pro Bowl, and then we will see what other honors roll in for these guys and see where down the line some of the alternates and some of these other possibilities are for the Pro Bowl. But that is your top line, just announced 20 minutes ago.
Yep.
As we get started here. Now, I'm burying what was going to be the lead here. And that is, something happened after the Bears game. I've been waiting my entire professional career for this. No joke. You know me. And I think this is the kind of thing that I had said, probably going back to just even before I was with the Score. I think I made a point about this on my first ever radio show back in Rockford. On WNTA, on the Sports Attack with Dan and Dex. I think
you were part of a show called The Sports Attack?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Whatever.
Lame.
It's terribly lame. I was 23 or 24, and we had our little weekly...
With your high-pitched, squeaky voice,
40 minutes. It was good. We had a blast on that show.
Oh, I'm sure.
Took a couple callers here and there. We had so much fun. But that's where that...
Sports Attack.
Those were the tapes I sent into the Score. That was the stuff part of this, not the stuff I faked.
Real low bar.
Yeah, but that was back in the day. But I think I made this point then. This goes back to like 1993 or 1994. And I always have said, if you're going to thank a higher power for your on-field success,
Okay.
therefore, I said just once, I want someone to blame the higher power for their failure. That there are innumerable times after any game, at any level, any sport, when asked, all praise is due to name the higher power, whatever one worships, whatever it may be. And I think the classic example of this was the late, not-so-great comedian George Miller. If you know George Miller, he was the sort of awkward friend of David Letterman, who Letterman would have him on once every couple of years. And George Miller would stand there in his sweater, and he would do a couple of jokes. And every once in a while, he had a couple of funny jokes that I really liked. And he would tell this joke, and he said, I want to hear a player, when asked, say into the microphone, well, the game was going great until Jesus made me fumble. And it happened. It happened. We finally have a player living up to it. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to present to you. This is not edited. I should give credit where it's due. I saw this in The Athletic. Their coverage of the Green Bay Packers. This is Packers cornerback Nate Hobbs.
God already chose who was going to win the game because there was so many things that went their way that just wasn't normal. It's like you got to live with those. You know what I'm saying? We played our butts off. We controlled most of the game, and I feel like God set it up that way. It was already written.
God already chose who was going to win the game. God set it up that way. It was already written.
Yep.
Nate Hobbs, congratulations. I will never forget your name. You did it. It happened. What can you do? If it is preordained that the Bears were going to win because God wanted the Bears to win, there is absolutely nothing you or anyone on the Green Bay Packers, any coaches, any players, there was nothing to be done. So it has been written, and so shall it be done. To quote Yul Brenner as Ramesses, the Pharaoh. He was Ramesses II, right?
I want to say 2.
Yeah,
that sounds correct.
Yeah, the sequel to the original Ramesses.
Right.
Ramesses said, so it has been written, so shall it be done. And there it was. All my years, I never thought I would hear it. And Nate Hobbs has blamed God for being a Bears fan. And it makes sense because this is the year that Bob from Dalton.
That's right.
Bob from Dalton is Pope. He's Pope. He's got the hotline to God. Maybe put in a call. And I don't know which God. I don't know. I'm gonna let you can pick one. It could be Yahweh, it could be Hashem, it could be Allah, it could be Vishnu, it could be Ra. You name one. But whatever one was in the mind of Nate Hobbs, and whatever God controls the outcome of football games, is favoring the Chicago Bears. Wrote that the Bears would win that game.
It was written.
I'm so happy.
So you got it. You got what you wanted.
I'm so happy. It's taken all of these
40 years in the making.
All of these years, and we had the soundbite.
35 years in the making. You got it.
And listen to the resignation. I want you to just listen to this guy. That he's not joking. This is the matter-of-fact resignation with all the things. And I've seen it, and I can't stop watching it. I don't know about you. I've watched every version that has crossed my timeline. Whatever has been sent to me. There's one where all of the plays are strung together, set to the rising Moneyball montage music.
Oh, you're talking about all the Bears highlights?
Yes, from that game.
Yeah, there's the Titanic music is used.
The Moneyball music is really good, too.
Yeah, the Titanic is good, too.
The Titanic's good, and just the build and the build and the build to DJ Moore doing the James Brown, I can't do no more, lying in the end zone.
The best video I saw was put out by the Bears themselves, and it's to the percolator.
Oh,
it was really good.
Nice.
It was a really good one. Yeah,
that's so.
And it wasn't just those plays. It's just a highlight reels and shots of guys, and it's really good. Into the percolator, it was really good.
I like
good
the
mix.
I like the Moneyball one.
Yeah.
I got to check the percolator one out. But if it crosses my timeline, I'm watching it. I have probably watched that throw, no joke, 25 times now.
At least.
Yeah, I'm not exaggerating.
So my favorite thing has been the video reactions of people watching it.
A lot of those are performative. A lot of the Packer fan loses mind.
No. I'm talking about Bears fans being videoed without knowing, like I was the one I sent you. So yours
is very simple.
I had no idea my wife was videoing me for the final 4 or 5 minutes.
Oh, I thought it was Hank.
Oh, no, it was Natalie.
Okay.
I had no idea because I'm standing in front of the TV, and so she's behind me on the couch. I can't see her. I'm not even looking.
That's my pose, too, when it gets real.
Oh, dude. Yeah, because I sit at the edge of the couch. I
can't sit.
I sit on the edge, and then I stand when it gets...
I will stand like an NBA coach. My pose when things get real and I really care about it, I've got arms folded, and I'm standing sort of chin tucked to chest, arms folded, looking over the top of my eyes to watch these things that matter.
I mean, I'm probably a foot away from the TV. I can't. And so she videos it. So those are the ones I love seeing. It's the unbridled, just pure ecstasy reactions. And we all, including myself, because I was in one of these videos, the octave is a level that I could never get to in normal effort. And everyone has the same high-pitched reaction. It's really crazy what that is, what triggers that in our body to get to that high-pitched level.
I don't know. There is something definitely reflexive, similarly to its opposite, the surrender cobra. That movement.
Oh, that move, yeah.
The hands on head surrender cobra, as in, oh my God, what just happened? And we've been there too many times.
So one of the videos that she showed me after the fact was when the Packers mishandle the onside kick, and I put my hand on my mouth because I just can't believe it. I'm such shock.
Mm-hmm.
And then the audio that follows is, how did the Packers fucking let that happen? I could not believe it. Wasn't even joy. I was so shocked that it happened.
It hit a wide receiver in the hands.
A hands guy.
It hit your starting wide receiver in the hands.
You're right. And then he got a boo-boo. I hurt. I can't. I'm going to lay here because I hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I got a boo-boo.
Yep.
Come carry me off.
Yeah, it gets better every time, really. And I don't even need to wear the cheese grater hat.
Oh, don't start again. We've ruined so many people's lives, apparently.
No, it was the reaction.
Yes.
That has been phenomenal.
And nonstop.
I came in this morning, and I've been clearing out all more. I've been saying, hey, thanks for the feedback, got it, ha, 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 whatever. And I come in, and whoop, it's full again.
It just doesn't stop.
Of you don't understand. Or the really creative people. We'll get to it on Friday, Feedback Friday. The really creative people going out of their way to over-explain and have some alternate explanations.
About why it's a good thing?
About the meaning of it and the multi-level meaning of what we're actually doing, what we're theoretically doing, what we're actually doing, and then specific cheeses being involved. Those who get the bit, thank you.
Yes.
Those who don't get the bit,
a bigger thank you.
Yes. You beat me to it.
100%.
Yes, I am more entertained perhaps by those who don't get the bit.
And are so angry.
You're
there's people are dropping F-bombs.
One guy cussed us out.
Hatred.
Yeah. I thought, okay, this guy's acting. This guy's in on it.
I don't
and
think so.
But it would have to be a tremendous acting job.
Yeah.
For the
That's real anger.
I think it's actual anger how mad that guy was. But here, just once again, can I just luxuriate in this?
Yes.
Can I just? This is like a hot tub of sports joy for me, and I could just sit here with like a pina colada, and just kind of lean back. And this again, I just want you to hear how serious and how matter of fact Nate Hobbs is.
He really believes this.
He believes this, and it also, when you think about it, absolves him from blame. That's the best part. Is like, what can you be asked to do? You can go to meetings, and the coach will be pointing and stopping the film. And what this does, it takes everything out of your hands. If it is preordained by a higher power that is omnipotent and omnipresent. I don't know if we're going to debate whether or not this omnipotent, omnipresent power is wholly good. That's probably for another time. But it's apparently not the fault of Nate Hobbs or anybody else.
God already chose who was going to win the game because there was so many things that went their way that just wasn't normal. It's like you got to live with those. You know what I'm saying? We played our butts off. We controlled most of the game, and I feel like God set it up that way. It was already written.
Okay, now, the question a reporter should ask there, when did you decide this?
Oh, when it's over.
Okay. Maybe not. Maybe he knew. Maybe he knew earlier.
No, because if you know going into it, you don't play. There's no reason to play then.
But how do you know after the fact that it was...
Because there's no other explanation for it.
But the point
that's the ego within that athlete.
But if it's written, why play at all?
Because you're not informed that it's written until it's done.
But if this is all scripted...
But you don't see the script until it's over.
But there's...
That's how it works.
Yeah, but if you're not in control of your own... He's saying he doesn't have free will.
No, he does have free will. That's why he goes out and performs. But yet it was written in the book of life previously, and you're not clued in on that.
Yeah, but if it's written, you don't have free will.
But you have free will to go out and perform or not. That's your free will. Your free will is to go out and do the job, to still put the effort forward.
To do the job that has been, where your movements have been already preordained.
Well, not your movements, but no. So what happened on the Ja'Day Walker touchdown? Because there's the Father, there's the Son, there's the Holy Ghost. It's one being in three.
If it's that God,
it's got to be that God because of Pope Bob. So let's
go
that
for
route.
the purposes of the discussion.
Route.
Okay.
So on that blown coverage, what happened was the Holy Ghost is in the end zone, sets a pick.
Okay.
That's what prevents Nixon from getting over to cover Ja'Day Walker.
All right.
So he's wide open for a touchdown. That's got to be spiritual intervention.
Okay.
Otherwise, that doesn't happen.
I have to defer to you when it comes to the triumvirate nature of
scriptures
and that
God.
Yeah. Because the only thing, because believe me, I got clobbered in my first year of art history because I didn't know these things.
Yeah.
And when they said, well, that white bird symbolizes the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, so that's God. I'm like, no. That's only a third of God.
Yeah. Because there's the Father, there's the Son,
the
Holy Ghost. The Holy Ghost gets down there, sets a pick. They score the game-tying touchdown.
When they're calling it this year. So you've got to be really good at that.
Yeah.
You got to know how to. So
then on the game-winning touchdown, the Holy Ghost gets in between Nixon and DJ Moore.
Okay.
So even though it was pass interference because he was hanging on him,
okay,
he wasn't directly hanging on DJ Moore. He was directly hanging on the Holy Spirit. DJ Moore was still allowed to use his arms to catch the ball because even though it was written, he still had to put forth the effort and act and movement of his body to catch the ball.
Okay. All right.
Because if he doesn't try, he keeps his arms to his side, that ball falls to the ground.
But
God's not going to create a miracle for a football game and have it stick to his chest.
But it isn't really up to. He's not in control. If there is something pulling the strings of every action, none of this is on a whim.
No, but it's not about God creating the actions. It's about God knowing in advance what's going to happen, and your free will is going out and performing and acting.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
doing your job.
But ultimately, the result of your job is not up to you.
Because our free will allows us to make mistakes and deviate from what is written in God's plan.
But it can't.
Yes, it can.
For an omnipotent being, if the being
He's
is
all-knowing. He
infallible
knows.
and omnipotent.
Yeah, he didn't make the mistake. We did.
Okay, well, it's one thing for something to be known. It's possible the omnipotent being knows exactly what's going to happen.
Yes.
That's different than deciding what's going to happen.
Well, see, now that's Nate Hobbs making his own theology here, saying that God decided the Bears would win.
Right. Now
Instead of saying that God
that's
knew
the leap.
they would win.
That's
the
the big leap.
Right. So that's just his own ego and his own sinful nature within him that absolves himself of not making the plays that were needed at the time, or his teammates.
It's very interesting because that gets to the George Miller joke. That gets not my fault. Jesus made me fumble. All right. Okay. I always said either you're in control of your actions or you're not.
So it happened. You finally got what you wanted.
That's it. Like I don't know what to do.
That's it. Let's
now.
shut it down.
I've
Phone
really
call over.
Phone call over. I've waited. I've lived long enough for an NFL player after the game so matter-of-factly.
You know,
that's not a joke.
There's more locker room sound. I didn't pull all of it. I just pulled Nate Hobbs. But that's the kind of game, and I'm being serious with this, that's the kind of game that you don't forget as a player. That you walk away and that impacts your next game. There's only 2 games left in the season, and I know they're currently the 7th seed in the NFC playoffs. But the Lions are just a game behind, with winnable games coming up still for the Lions, who play at Minnesota and then against the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
All they have to do is win one of those. The Packers lose their remaining 2 versus the Ravens at Minnesota. Minnesota can play a big spoiler against the Packers and knock them out of the playoffs if the Lions can get a win this weekend against Minnesota.
Well, you're right, and we talked about this last week.
Because those guys were, and it's not just being dejected. That, like, your soul was ripped out of your body in that loss.
Remember what we discussed last week about let them off the hook? And about, I was relating the fact that most fishermen remember the fish they lose.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Much more so psychologically than the ones that you land. And everyone you lose hurts doubly than the ones that you catch feel good.
And if that happens to you down the street here, you could go back the next day and catch another fish.
Right.
The Bears lost that one, let them off the hook, had the momentum in their mindset going into the next game, which was only 2 games later.
Yep.
They had the revenge there, the opportunity to get them back on the hook, reel them in. The Packers don't have that now.
Right.
The Packers that was it. They just lost their opportunity to get back in the division lead, and now they have 2 more games with that still in their brain, and they don't get a chance to play the Bears again until sometime next year.
Well, that was written as well.
It was.
I'm telling you, the Bob from Dalton, our guy Leo, who is a Bob from the 815.
Yep.
Don't tell me how I know, but
you know,
I for a fact.
You showed me.
I showed you someone I know has his his cell. He's got an iPhone.
It's 815.
And the rest of the number was blacked out when it was sent to me.
Right.
But it says,
which is a good thing.
It said Robert Prevost, and it's an 815 area code. So this is a Bob from the 815 is the first human earthly connection to God.
I mean, because you look at the Packers going into that game last weekend, and Jeff Hafley was taking it very personal that all the questions were asked about his defense without Micah Parsons. It was a top 5 defense last year, excuse me, before they had Parsons. So he was taking it personal. Then you go out and you dominate the game for basically 57 minutes. And you hold down
and you have
the
a 99.5
chance of winning.
% likelihood of winning.
And you have a top 10 scoring team that you held without a touchdown the entire game. And then it ends that way for you. I'm telling you, that's gonna impact these final 2 games for this team. And I know they're pros, and and maybe I'm probably wrong.
Not necessarily,
because they are pros and they have a job to do and they're still in the playoff hunt. It's not like they were eliminated because of that loss. But man, hearing you don't hear professional athletes talk like that and sound like that on a normal basis.
When we were talking about that and how it feels to lose, how it feels to let something off the hook, someone sent me a study that was done among high-level professional poker players when it came to testing their memory of previous events.
Mm-hmm.
Many of them couldn't remember the exact circumstances of winning some of the biggest pots
Like
they've
big
ever
jackpot,
won.
sure.
But all of them could remember their worst beat.
Yeah.
All of them could tell you where they were, what the cards were, who was at the table, what the betting was. Every single one could take you through the sequence of a bad beat.
I'm sure they could tell you where they were at, what city they were in, what time of day, like every detail possible.
Everything. But whether it was the turn or the river and what every hand was, they couldn't do it with the wins, but they could do it with the losses.
See, that's, and I think some people are like that, and I don't think everyone is, though, even because I've never been like that with golf.
A lot of conscientious.
I've played golf with buddies, casual golfers, not even close to being anywhere close to being a pro, but a casual weekend guy can remember every shot, even going back years.
Yep.
You get to a course, be like, oh yeah, I remember we played here 3 years ago. Oh yeah, 17 has that one dog leg left, and I
dad
put it in the
can
tree.
do that.
I can't.
My dad's like that. And my son's like that. I am not.
I am not.
And I'm so glad you brought that up, because when I was able to be back in control of enjoying golf was when I knew it was a me problem, and because I got pretty good for a while, like after high school and into college, and I played. I mean, not great, but like I could score in the 80s,
Mm-hmm.
and I was pretty competitive with myself. I played a lot when I lived in Rockford because public golf there was so good and so cheap.
Oh, if you're shooting in the 80s for a weekend golfer, that's great.
Yeah,
that's great.
And it was great. But then I got competitive with myself, and then I couldn't play enough, and I stopped liking it. And then when I got back to thinking, you know what, all I need to do is remember enough good shots and forget the bad ones.
Mm-hmm.
And enjoy being outside and enjoy being with friends and family, and just look at this as it's going to be fun no matter what. And I kind of stopped keeping score. And all I needed were 3 or 4 or 5 like really good shots. And I flipped the script on it.
Yeah.
And it was work. I figured out I could do that. Yeah. And I could do it on my terms, and that made all the difference in the world.
I'm the same. So for me, it's 3 shots. I need of 18. I need one good drive,
one really good stiff
whether it's
rip,
even if it's a a par 5 or a par. I don't care. I need one good drive.
Mm-hmm.
I need one good approach.
And you got to run in a 15-footer.
And I need a good putt. And if I sink one good putt, I have one good approach, and I have one good drive, I'm good to go. And then the whole idea is being outside and just to enjoy that and the company of the people you're playing golf with. I stopped playing for 2 years, and this was a while ago when I lost my mind and threw my clubs over the fence because I was so pissed. I snapped the club first, then grabbed the bag out of the golf cart, threw it over the fence, and left it.
That's a pretty good watershed moment for some self-assessment.
Yeah, so I didn't play for 2 years, and then I got new clubs and said, all right, I'll start playing again because I can enjoy it.
And just realizing that it's in my control.
Yeah,
I can decide what matters. And you want to go play in a best ball scramble?
Sure.
Have the absolute time of my life out there.
Yeah. So I'll finish 18, and you could go back and name all 79 shots you had. I'll name 3. Hopefully I can name those 3. Hopefully I have one good drive, one good approach, one good putt.
There's your advice for the day.
Yeah, that's psycho to me though. People that can do that, there's something off, man. That's weird.
But
that's crazy.
After a basket.
I literally can finish 18 and what'd you shoot in the first?
Yeah.
God. Let me take a look at the card. Where'd your drive go?
Most PGA guys can walk you through the entire, every club choice, every distance from jump.
Oh, dude, who was it? Was it?
They all can.
I don't know if it was Sean Payton or John Gruden, or maybe it was definitely
Sean McVay.
A name.
McVay can do it.
It was McVay.
Yeah, he knows everything.
When he was an assistant for a team.
It's amazing.
And it was years ago.
He might be making it up, but I don't care.
No, because a guy had the script right in front of him and said, all right, third quarter, 13:25 to go.
Right. He'll be
okay. That was at Arizona.
That was 3rd and 6.
Yes.
We were in trips left.
So unless they set it up for the video, he knew it. It was insane.
Yeah, LeBron is like that after a game. He can do. Larry Bird was like that.
Was Jordan like that?
I didn't know that he was.
Yeah, I don't ever see.
I don't remember
seeing
no.
things or hearing.
He never really would take you through the play-by-play like that.
Yeah,
where LeBron can. LeBron from tip.
Because with Michael, it was basically, so Michael, here's the play. Second quarter, I got the ball and I scored.
Right.
Okay, how about I got the ball and I scored.
And then they made him cry.
Right. And I punched somebody on the way out.
Yeah. But it was there are all kinds of athletes that have memories like that.
Yeah.
That can simply just do that because
it's not just pro athletes though. There are either you have that or you don't.
Well, and either way, if you're not in charge of the script, or if there's a higher power in charge of the script, and you remember the script, good for you.
Nate Hobbs.
But yeah, this is just a long way of saying, Nate Hobbs, thank you.
All right, one last time for you, because I know this was
Yes, it was meaningful.
over 30 years.
God already chose who was going to win the game because there was so many things that went their way that just wasn't normal. It's like you got to live with those. You know what I'm saying? We played our butts off. We controlled most of the game, and I feel like God set it up that way. It was already written.
There you go.
So you didn't control most of the game. You only thought
you did.
You controlled most of the game. But Nate, thank you.
Or maybe they did, and God said, all right, I'm going to step in with 3 minutes to
God's
go.
like, all right,
here we go.
you stupid bastards.
It's time.
Yep. All right. Okay. Gets up off the couch.
Like Bob finally said, like it was the final prayer that got it over the edge.
Bob's on the phone, like, not yet. All right, now.
No, it was that one last prayer.
Oh,
Maybe
so
it was
he
like-
was beseeching.
Yes, and maybe it was like the 500th prayer. Please let the Bears win. And it was finally the point where God said, all right, my servant, you've done enough. I'll step in.
He was just waiting for the threshold. He's
Yes.
like, all right, not yet.
It's like
There
one of
it
those big
is.
red meters people are donating.
Yeah, the thermometer.
Yes, he's
Yep.
just filling it up.
Yep, and then he just
Burst at the top.
gets to the point. There it is. Nicely done.
Thanks, Bob.
I saw this, and it's worth checking out. We spent some time discussing what happened with Sherrone Moore and the ugliness at the University of Michigan. Well, there's a name that, if you are a college, that you might not want to see getting involved in doing some reporting, because when you see Katie Strang's name on something, that means things are getting serious and people are probably going to get fired. And Katie Strang was part of the reporting with Bruce Feldman and Austin Meek just about what Michigan should have known about their coach, Sherrone Moore. Their lead here is 5 women contacted by The Athletic said they had strange or uncomfortable exchanges with former Michigan football coach Sherrone Moore on Instagram as recently as last month and dating as far back as 2020. One woman said she received a hand-waving emoji from Moore a few hours before Michigan kicked off against Purdue on November 1st. And they have quotes here from people who wanted to remain anonymous, but it is amazing to me that Michigan could not find a way to act on what it seemed everybody knew was a long-standing pattern of, at the very least, strange behavior. According to a number of screenshots shared with The Athletic, Moore would ask seemingly innocuous questions or send emojis, the fire symbol, clapping hands, a wave, in response to stories posted on Instagram, and then attempt to engage the women in conversation. One woman with whom he shared mutual connections provided messages the two exchanged after he asked her if he could fly her to come see him. She asked him why he'd do that and whether he'd consider the potential ramifications of a relationship. If she visited, would she need to avoid being seen in public? Would he expect her to be holed up in some hotel? In her words, I guess we'll have to see. I would say yes, but you would also have a driver. Ha ha. We will go into that detail later. When the woman asked how many women he'd propositioned similarly, he responded, none. And this is all while he was telling his players to stay off of social media. And apparently the Human Resources Department investigated an anonymous tip that he was engaged in a relationship with a female football staffer. We know some of these stories already. We're getting a lot more specifics about his behavior that had raised some eyebrows. It was described by a former Michigan staffer. It's like a bad nightmare or a soap opera drama. It is a sad story, and it's not over yet. So, as we mentioned before, I think that the athletic director and more people involved are going to end up having to answer some very difficult questions. I don't know if the answers are going to be good enough once the Jenner and Block report is out, but it sounds like that there were red flags being provided along the way at any point that should have been enough to have somebody do something more than what Michigan did, which essentially was nothing. And it sounds like, I'm not a lawyer, but it sounds like that they may have, in their inaction, where it can be held to a standard of what a reasonable person would have done or should have done, let alone a university with very specific workplace rules codified, that there may be some people who have some actionable complaints against the university.
Yep, for sure.
It is it's not great, and wondering what is going to end up happening, how this is all going to be handled. So
I'm just wondering if people are still waiting to hear his side of the story. That's all. I'm just curious still.
Yeah,
there was a lot of those.
And I was amazed when we talked about that, and it was my response to the Adam Schefter, the water carrying, where we talked about how much he obviously was trying to take the side of Moore or Moore's people or his agents.
Because Adam Schefter actually said in his video, we need to hear his side of the story.
Right.
It was actually Adam Schefter said that.
Correct. And I was surprised of how many people said, innocent until proven guilty. Of course we have to hear his side because they're out to get him. That was the other thing that Schefter said, that parroting Moore's comments about people at the university having it in for him or being out to get him. I don't think so.
Yeah. Because when people are out to get you and there's some kind of conspiracy theory against you or about you, where people are against you, you don't break into this woman's house that you had an affair with and pull a knife and threaten to kill yourself and take her down too.
Right. Or be propositioning multiple women all over social media and trying to fly them in and bring them in and doing this on game days. But this is almost your primary job, which is taking precedence over the football coaching, is just propositioning women.
That one action of breaking into her home and pulling a knife, whether it's a butter knife or not, that was known, and people are still commenting, innocent until proven guilty. You got to hear his side of it. Come on now.
Right.
It's fine. You want to love your football program, great. Love your football program, but let's not hold a blind eye to what's right and what's wrong.
We mentioned, I think it was yesterday. I'm losing
409
track of
bastards.
time.
Yeah.
Oh, don't even start on that.
Yeah, I know.
You know not to. Don't get me going on the Penn State stuff.
Move on to the next thing.
So the White Sox made news with the signing of Munetaka Murakami. And so a couple notes on this as we're following up. I'm already seeing the initial looks of something I want to avoid. I saw the term Munetaki mania.
I saw Moonball.
Okay.
M-U-N-E.
He might be a good baseball player. He might not be a good baseball player. He might be fun. But can we avoid something here and avoid somehow making this into some exotic idea of having a Japanese player? Japanese players, they're baseball players now. We please do not make this what we've had way too many times with Kosuke Fukudome and the headbands, and it just turns gross. We're over it. It's enough already. There's enough Japanese players. The greatest single baseball player who's ever walked the planet of the earth the planet of the Earth, the planet Earth, happens to be Japanese.
But
all of these teams have had Japanese players before. Let's not make this some exotic thing where who is this mysterious and inscrutable mystic player from the Far East who comes in here with his culture we don't understand? Stop it.
Yeah, I'm not
Stop
excusing
it.
it. Or
this is not 1962.
Right, but
stop.
When Fukudome came to the Cubs, that was the first Japanese player they had. Like, again, not excusing it.
But
I'm just
come on.
but yes or no, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, and then is this the first Japanese player for the White Sox?
No. Remember Tadahito Iguchi?
Oh, Iguchi, that's right.
When
Yes.
they won the World Series?
They didn't win the World Series.
Oh, that's right. They apparently didn't win the World
ESPN
Series.
took it away.
Yeah, there was the
Didn't
national
count.
media has removed the White Sox World Series. And you know who else the White Sox had? Kosuke Fukudome.
They did?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
must have missed that day.
Yeah, and
I was homesick.
and remember who their closer was when they won the World Series? Their
Bobby
first
Jenks. He was
closer.
Japanese?
No, Shingo Takatsu
Oh.
to start the year.
Jenks is Japanese. I didn't know that.
No,
Newsflash.
Bobby Jenks, the late Bobby Jenks. No,
He was
'cause
not Japanese.
Bobby Jenks was the third closer because Dustin Hermanson took over.
Not Japanese also.
No, because
Okay.
remember Dustin Hermanson and his magic grape juice. Remember when he was in the Ponzi scheme and he was selling the acai
that's
juice,
right.
and we had him on, and he said his back hurt, but his back was cured by the magic grape juice, and
Yep.
he needed other people to start selling the magic grape juice.
That's called wine.
Well, no,
Dustin.
this was
That'll make any pain
this
feel
was
better.
acai juice, and
Yeah.
then it turned out it didn't cure him, and he was done for the year because magic grape juice doesn't cure back problems.
No, because it was written already.
Well, he didn't say that.
God knew that.
He didn't say that.
Nate Hobbs did.
No, he didn't. At the time. So let's enjoy having somebody who could be a good, fun slugger and home run
He
hitter.
seems
but-
like he's going to be fun. That's nice.
yes, but please let's not do the whole thing. Oh,
So they should make special T-shirts and
yeah, no,
hats and
you can, but not because he happens to be Japanese.
okay.
I think we've got enough who are, winning World Series, breaking every record, redefining how we think about baseball players, that it's a worldwide game. So let's.
So you just broke some guy's heart who's like, he took the cheese head and the cheese grater hat idea and he's like, it's like a sushi
Replaced it with his-
venti box or
Yes.
something. Yeah. And now he's like,
Bento
oh,
box.
I shouldn't
Damn
do
it, Bernstein! You're taking the fun out of my sushi head
Yes.
thing. The giant nigiri, the rice thing.
Yes. It looks like rice with the shrimp on top.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Well, that would be ebi,
We could do that.
or it could be. I would do that. I would do. My favorite is the uni, but it's
No, I would do a bento box. That
Very
would work
expensive.
best for the type of hat you're
You
doing.
think nice
Yeah.
lacquered bento box.
Yeah. But it's foam rubber kind of thing.
And believe it or not, you know what else I have? I have another White Sox note.
You do?
Yeah, in case you missed it, the Cincinnati Enquirer is reporting that talks are on between the Reds and Sox that would for a trade that would send Luis Robert Jr. to Cincinnati. The White Sox are said to be willing to eat money, perhaps as much as half of the $20 million he is owed to facilitate a trade. The Reds are deep in young pitching.
Is he the final piece of what was their championship window puzzle?
Team, I don't know if he was the final piece, but he was the one that had me the most excited.
As far as being the last one left, right? Isn't he?
I think so. I don't know that I'm in touch with the roster well.
So if they
enough.
make this
I
trade, they
think
could just
so.
shut that window completely?
That might be it.
Is that window closed yet?
Unbelievable what this guy had. I have the Baseball Reference page open here. So a B WAR in 2023 of 5.3. He was an all-star. He got MVP votes, Silver Slugger, slash line of 264, 315, 542, an OPS plus of 130.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
And the last couple years, he's had the same year in 24 and 25 with an OPS plus of 86 in 2024, an OPS plus of 85 in 2025, and just dismal numbers across the board. Absolutely dismal.
Was he like core injuries, oblique
Series of injuries.
right? I know, but were they all like core stuff or
Soft
was it
tissue?
Okay.
A lot of hamstring and quad.
So legs,
and,
okay.
And yeah, there was the vision at one point. Remember, he had a vision.
Yeah, his eyes were closed and he wouldn't open them.
No, he did. He had an actual remember there was like double vision.
Like if you open your eyes, you'll play better.
Well, I feel bad. This is the guy.
Me too. I do.
It was
Bummed.
so exciting when he chose the Sox and the Sox chose him, and they give him the big money and everything looked good. And here's Eloy Jimenez and Tim Anderson.
Man, what a team that was going to be.
And it just wasn't.
No. Oof.
It just wasn't.
Still gets me.
Hasn't been traded yet. But if you're now eating money to try to pry some young pitching off the Reds, I'm not saying it's the wrong thing to do. It's just too bad.
Yeah, it is.
If that's the way it ends.
It's terrible.
So we will keep an eye on that possibility and see if Luis Robert actually ends up a Cincinnati Red. Now, on a more important note, this was an email that came in to... Breaking news on Dan Bernstein Unfiltered. We have for you a radioactive shrimp update. It's not over. Just when we thought the outbreak of radioactive shrimp in our grocery stores was contained, we get news that it's not. Dateline Washington. More than 80,000 bags of shrimp have been added to a growing recall over potential radioactive contamination, the Food and Drug Administration announced. Direct Source Seafood, LLC, is now recalling 83,800 bags of frozen raw shrimp.
How many? 83?
83,800. Bags of frozen raw shrimp imported from Indonesia because the products may have been prepared, packed, or held under unsanitary conditions that could have led to contamination with cesium-137, according to a recall notice issued December 19th. That is just 4 days ago. The shrimp was sold under the Market 32 and Waterfront Bistro brands at multiple grocery chains, including Price Chopper, Albertsons, Safeway, Lucky Supermarket, apparently not, and Jewel Osco.
Oh, no.
No illnesses have been reported. Well, of course not, because it takes years for the cesium-137 isotope to infiltrate your body and cause whatever cancers and radiation poisoning it may cause. Cesium-137 is a man-made radioactive isotope that can appear in food and water at trace levels. The FDA warns that long-term repeated low-dose exposure may damage DNA in human cells and increase the risk of cancer.
But it wasn't Dick's grocery store, right?
No, but
Okay.
Waterfront Bistro brand frozen raw shrimp sold at Jewel Osco. Albertsons, Safeway, and Lucky Supermarkets were sold at stores in Colorado, Iowa, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Montana, North Dakota, Nevada, Oregon, Utah, and Wyoming in 2-pound bags. So if you purchased a 2-pound bag of Waterfront Bistro brand frozen shrimp at the Jewels, don't eat it.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat it.
Take it back.
Yeah.
And you probably don't even want it around you, frankly. Because if there's cesium-137 in there, I don't even think you have to necessarily eat it.
I would probably clean
If it's
out your
around
freezer
you,
and get rid of all the stuff that was around.
I think you might want to do that too, because you don't want to become shrimp man.
Yeah, if you have a family member that touched the bag, get rid of them too.
Get rid of the family member.
Yeah.
Yes.
Get a new one.
Yep. Get a different family member.
Yeah.
Trade the family member in. Get a better one, because this is it's finally hit home. I believe this is the first time in the saga of the radioactive shrimp from Indonesia that we have Illinois grocery stores involved, and especially if it is the Jewel in Wayne, where the horse
Strangles.
would get the horse with strangles could be there. I'm a little worried that we could get shrimp horse, because it may just be that the case of the strangles would create an environment in which the cesium-137 might be able to act faster on the susceptible horse. And we were looking at this all wrong, that rather than creating shrimp man, shrimp woman, shrimp person, shrimp people, walk like shrimp, talk like people, that we end up with shrimp horse.
So if people in Wayne fed this shrimp to their horse, any suggestions?
I don't. I'm not a horse person. I believe we would need a horse expert and possibly a shrimp expert involved to decide. But this is here now. Like Waterfront Bistro, I know how this stuff works. And that has been your latest Radioactive Shrimp update on Dan Bernstein Unfiltered. Further bulletins as events warrant. So we start with Pro Bowl nods. We finish with the fear of cesium-137 in our freezers. And I don't want it to get anywhere near my Omaha Steaks products.
Didn't just stop them. It's cesium.
Hey! So I don't want to affect my caramel apple tartlets, which I have yet to eat. And by the way, I'm so happy. Thanks to Ginny Hubbard, the chairman, CEO, owner of Hubbard Broadcasting. Did you get your box of chocolates?
Yeah, I ate them yesterday with Lucas, my youngest stepson.
I ate them without Lucas.
Yeah, we ate the box.
I ate all 9, and I was worried because there's no key on the back. They're 9 lovely chocolates.
Yeah, you just had to dig into them and see what you got.
The caramel.
The caramel was the best one.
Was incredible.
But you could tell which ones had the caramel, because there was the little salt flakes on top of those, and they were the milk chocolate color. The dark chocolate ones had like the chocolate ganache inside.
Yeah. And there was one that had some sort of was it a chestnut flavored nougat or a hazelnut flavor? There was one that had something else in it.
Yeah, I think they were roasted nuts, roasted chestnuts.
Yeah, but it was outstanding, and I ate all of them.
I'm sure you did.
While staying up to make sure that football game had been decided. A little shake and bake pork chops and some potatoes, and close it off with the entire box of chocolates.
You had shake and bake again last night?
Jason wanted it, so
that's like once a week. You're getting into the shake and bake.
It was good. And
how did you shake it this time? Did you use a jewel
bag
again?
Like a Polaroid picture.
What'd you do?
No, the jewel bag had a hole in the bottom that I pulled out, so I had.
So that goes in the luggage section?
Yes, that would be personal luggage because I can still carry my toiletries.
Yeah.
No, it was a different shopping, like a plastic shopping bag.
Final note, though, on football here for this game is that, so Phillip Rivers is an annoying bastard to watch. Jesus, man. Like, it's tough to get through.
Also,
every snap, man.
His face was squeezed into his helmet like this.
Equipment manager needs to maybe step up one size in that helmet.
He's got the John Hanna helmet going on.
But man, he's annoying.
Well, I'll tell you this though, he can't really throw it.
He can't throw anymore, but he can direct. He knows what to do, man.
Yeah,
like that dude knows that offense.
Yes, he does. Like he blew the over-unders out of the water.
If you watched that game and you didn't know anything about the story and said, "Tell me how long this guy's been here," you'd say, "All right, this is probably his 20th season with this team, and it's his final run, and he's retiring after this season." But he's been there for the last 2 decades.
And that guy, was it Downs, the wide receiver? That guy runs some great routes.
Oh,
he runs some terrific routes.
I told you, lay 5.5 with the Niners. That hit. That's 7 in a row now.
Well, we are going to get into on Forward Progress. Certainly. Did you? I don't want to. I'll just tease it. Did you get a lot of texts from people who are noticing other NFC teams now for the first time? Because I did.
Oh, people watching the Niners, because this is probably the first Niners game they've watched.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of people saying, these Niners look like they could be trouble. Because now, and I said, yeah, have you seen Seattle?
I mean, the Niners are 11-4.
Have you seen Seattle?
Seattle's 12-3. And your buddies or people that were texting you, the first Seattle game they probably saw was that overtime game.
Right.
This is probably the first 49ers game that they've watched.
Not to mention, do you want to play the Packers again? I'm just saying, like, now you're starting to think, now something's at stake.
Yeah.
Now it isn't just like, hey, hooray, Bears, this is fun. Good, better, best. Yeah, good, better, best has got some work to do.
Well, I'm going to set you up, Dan, in Forward Progress with a scenario that gets the Bears the number 1 seed.
Hot damn, I can't wait to hear it.
Dan Bernstein Unfiltered. Unfiltered on 312 Sports.